Hello beautiful people, and welcome to this video, the 5 books you need to, well, I shouldn't say need. Hello beautiful, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to share with you guys the 5 books that I really believe will help you to begin and expand your spiritual journey, to kind of get you started on that journey to the present moment, to enlightenment. These books are the ones that I think they're game changers. They're shifting the paradigm and helping to awaken people all around the world to a new world. More love, more peace, and more passion. If you know me at all, you know I freaking love books. Reading is like top of the list for hobbies, and my favorite genre is the spiritual genre. I personally use spiritual books as a kind of daily bread. The whole idea of soaking myself in this wisdom and truth on a daily basis, because the more you spend time with an idea, the more you vibrate with it, the more you become it. And so for me, I always have some kind of spiritual book on the go to just kind of tune me into my center and offer me a touchstone throughout the day so I can just kind of remember who I am and what's true to me. And I found this a very powerful practice. I want to say, to start this off, we are all spiritual beings. The dentist, the doctor, the garbage man, the president, your dog. We're all spiritual beings. And so the whole idea, you're not going to become more spiritual. You literally can't become more spiritual. We're spirit made manifest, absolutely equal, whole God beings. But the way I think of like awakening and quote-unquote enlightenment is just coming into fuller and brighter expressions of you, where you're more tuned into your inner world and the outer world on a really visceral, almost magical feeling level. So essentially allowing yourself to bloom into the fullest expression of the beautiful flower you were born to be. And finding that freedom where you're no longer a sheeple just going with the mass of collective consciousness. You're actually creating your reality because you're aware of your mind and who you are and what your true heart's desires are, and you're moving with that and really being the vessel of love that you really are. Okie dokie, so without further ado, let's get to the books. And in no real particular order, I think this might be the order I read them in or something like that, close to it. I'll just get to it. And the first book is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I'm sure you've heard of it. If not, get on it. I know he has an audiobook version that you can listen to, and it's actually his voice, and he is very peaceful, so that might be a nice option. But this book, for me, it's like it's the perfect starter book because it's almost like a feather, like if you're in the collective sleep, a feather brushing over your eyes, kind of gently cracking them open to reality, to the present moment, which we've obviously been in our whole lives, but like it's almost like you come into it for the first time. I would say that's kind of awakening, when you're like, I'm alive, I have presence, I'm connected to the world around me. I am the witness of this world and these thoughts. And so I think that book is just, it's gonna shift things. I feel like reading it, you might read it, some things might be super clear, other things a little bit like abstract, but it'll kind of work on you. After you've read it, I feel like the concepts start to work in your life without even trying. You'll just become more present, which is sweet. The second book I want to recommend is The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. And I think of this book so often. He really just cuts through every kind of topic in life, in the world, and offers this high spiritual perspective and clarity. It's a very short book, very easy to read. You'll want to give it to all your friends and reread it over and over again. To me, it's like a little Bible for the time. And a lot of like confusion and questions I had about the world and why is there suffering and this and that. It's answered so succinctly, and it's a story. It's highly applicable. It cuts deep. It's just a revelation in paper. Honestly, of the 5, I think if you had to pick up like one book today, and just one book, I would say The Prophet. Hands down. Mic drop. So good. Alright, and the third book, another very popular book, is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And this book is a story, it's an adventure, it's the hero's journey. And I think the nice thing about reading an actual story is that it's keeping you engaged the whole time. There's suspense and mystery and wonderment, but also I would say the spiritual concepts, they're just infused in every line and they're plainly spoken. It's not very abstract. You're not kind of guessing at the metaphors. I would say it's very clear, and ultimately empowering you to be fearless, to to go on the adventure, to find your calling and who you are, to live your passion, and to realize the treasure that's already inside of you. And I would say anyone at any age could read that. Like, you know, even 10 years old on, I think, would get something really good from it. The fourth book I would recommend to begin your spiritual journey is the Celestine Prophecy. And this book is very similar to The Alchemist in the sense that it's a story woven with these beautiful spiritual concepts. It's incredibly rich. To me, I came to it actually recently, and it almost felt like it summed up so much of what I'd learned from other books, but just so simply. And when it's tied to a story, I find it a little easier to integrate too. It's kind of about a man through these kind of crazy synchronicities. He begins this adventure to Peru. And I think what I got most out of this book was the idea that nothing is an accident. Almost like every person you meet, or if you notice someone more in a group of people, there's purpose to that. And the power of that. So I've become a little bit more in tune to the things I notice and the people I notice, and kind of start to think maybe there's more meaning in this and more purpose. And I think that's added a new richness to my life. Okay, the fifth and final book, and now I'm just realizing I should have put this as the fourth one maybe, but that is The Four Agreements. And this, another just classic by Don Miguel Ruiz. And essentially it's just 4 truths to end the suffering of the mind. And that's a tall order, but I really believe that if you follow these 4 agreements, or if you incorporate more of them in your life, you will become more free. You will tune into your core center wholeness to greater degrees and just feel more peace. And I think of them often, especially, I'm not sure which number it is, but the one, make no assumptions. I didn't realize how many assumptions I make about other people, about my own life, about what's kind of going on in reality. And I realized they're just that, they're assumptions, not really even based on truth. And that alone has kind of stopped the spiraling of my mind. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. And there's a peace in that. Yeah, so just absolute gold in this book. And if I could offer a little advice as from one seeker to another, it would be to drop the idea of being a seeker, of being on a path at all, even of having a place to get, of needing a teacher or looking for the answers to just kind of come to you from without. If you desire fulfillment or enlightenment, you have to claim it now, not tomorrow or 10 years from now or after you take that course or read those books. It's a choice in the moment. You're either awake in this moment, living your truth, or you're not. It's a moment-to-moment decision, and you're either choosing from a place of love and abundance or fear, illusion, and lack. Spirituality can become just another to-do list if you're measuring yourself against others or your own self, and that is totally not what any of this is about. The point is to go beyond efforting or trying to be something else than what you are, and embracing who you are, letting the natural divinity that you are express, just removing those blocks to love so that the love can shine through, and so that you can feel free in your authentic expression. It's about choosing peace, love, a new way in this here and now moment. And the more you do that, the more you choose love, the more momentum in a state of love you build, and the easier it is to choose love. So anyone you meet who looks more wise, peaceful, loving, enlightened than you is just someone who's been choosing love again and again for a longer time. And they're definitely still challenged to keep choosing love themselves, and even more importantly, having grace for themselves when they don't choose love. And so the whole point of this is you've spent many of your moments in life in that awakened state. Anytime you're in a state of joy, reverie, excitement, love, appreciation, bliss, any of those moments, no matter if you're eating an ice cream cone or staring into someone's eyes or just appreciating the sunset, that's a moment of awakening, enlightenment. You are an enlightened being. And so this whole spiritual journey stuff is just about becoming more conscious and deliberate with it. Instead of just waiting for those moments to kind of come and pass you by, you're going out and you're making it a lifestyle. You're choosing love again and again and again. You're remembering who you are and what you want, and you're living in the truth and the wholeness of that. And by doing so, your life becomes all the more beautiful and satisfying. And that really is the only difference of a spiritual path. It's going from victim to hero of your own story. It's going from reactor to life coming at you to creator of your life and how you live and who you are. And once again, it's something that has to be chosen in every moment, I suspect, till our last breath. So there's really nowhere to get, but we can use these books as tools to open our minds to new paradigms, new beliefs, new ways of living, breathing, and being. And by kind of soaking yourself in these high vibrations on a regular basis, it's just going to be that much easier to keep resonating on that frequency of love and truth and who you really are. So I hope that was helpful. I definitely, all these books, guys, they're so good. Even if you're not super interested in spirituality, I'd say they're just great books. And happy reading. I will see you guys again soon. Have the most beautiful day. And bye now.